Here we see Rocky Juarez land, which I think was the cleanest punch of the entire fight at this point. A beautiful time right hand.
Good.
Emanuel Stewart mentioned the swelling around Rocky Juarez's left eye. Subtle, not exactly imperceptible, but it isn't really a dangerous situation so far. It's just like a brewing storm on the horizon.
You know something about the right hand Juarez landed, though, Emanuel, as you mentioned, it was crisp and straight and accurate. Chris John doesn't take too many on the chin. He got hit in the face, but he doesn't take too many right on the chin, and that's all the difference.
Yeah, in fact, he's a very good defensive fighter for the most part. And Rocky's doing a good job on defense tonight, too. A lot of punches are being thrown, accurate, precision punches, but very few are landing completely clean. Most of them are half deflected.
In boxing, the punch that looks spectacular but doesn't hit the chin is not nearly as effective as the short punch right on the chin, because on the chin, the neck can't act as a shock absorber the same
Another
way.
good right hand by Juarez.
Going back of the head, all right?
Lawrence Cole warning Chris John against holding the back of the head. So in one fell swoop, John gets cracked with another right hand and warned by Lawrence Cole. Doesn't seem to blunt his confidence. He's beating Juarez to the punch now. Rocky is following rather than leading, but when he gets close, he does damage. Over the top with the right hand for John, and he backs Juarez up.
John, as you mentioned, not a big puncher, Jim, but he hits hard enough to keep guys honest. Rocky Juarez simply can't run headlong into these shots.
Straight down the middle with the right hand by John.
Good right hand down the middle.
Opened up a cut over the left eye.
Absolutely right, and it's a bleeding cut. That was the most important punch in the fight so far.
And you know what I've noticed? And most of Chris Johnson's right hands have been, I call looping right hands. Now he's starting to mix up and shoot some of his shots through the center. Just like that one out.
That is a very dangerous cut above the left eye for Rocky Juarez. It's going to affect the fight unless his cut man, Joe Chavez, can get it to stop within the next round or two. Good right hand by Juarez. John grins as he backs away.
For the most part, Chris John is still setting tempo, and even when he gets hit with a good punch, he comes back and takes control. He will never let Juarez take completely control and get a good momentum to go on.
Left hand uppercut by John. He's got a lot of game.
He's undefeated in over 40 fights with a win against Juan Manuel Marquez, not to mention Derek Gainer and some others. And it's not an accident.
Hiroyuki Inoki of Japan, who may be a better fighter than a couple of the guys who have belts in this division.
Indeed.
Wow. I need you to be closer to him, man. Yeah. No, we cannot give him, we cannot let this guy have his run outside. We talked about this, right? Yeah. We got to out jab, and when we get close, we got to outwork it. Lawrence, where was it?
All time. All right. I was on the other side of where I was, so I didn't know if there was a headbutt or right hand.
Okay. Okay, Rock. Now listen. I need you to get closer to this guy, okay? Yeah. I really need you to work now, Rock. Okay? Huh? I got you.
Here we see the right hand that I believe was that opened up the cut, and it was a right hand, not a butt. A right hand right over the left shoulder perfectly, and you can see right after that, you can see Rocky Juarez react to it, and you can feel that that probably was the punch that opened up the cut.
Okay, don't get this guy no room. I don't want this guy to have no room. I want you close. I want this up close. I want you in close with him, guy, okay? All right? Let's go. I want you to work, baby. Okay? You got it?
I want you to keep down that right hand and other hand right. Okay? Right hand, other hand right.
If there's a jab contest, John is determined to win it. He has thrown nearly 100 more jabs than Juarez so far, landing 57 out of 254. Averaging 50 jabs per round. Chris John. That, of course, is what set up the right hand that cut Juarez over the left eye. The between rounds period, I'm told, was a little longer than the normal 1 minute. Harold Letterman has an explanation. Why?
They call timeout when the doctor comes into the ring, and then they call time in when the doctor leaves the ring so that the corner gets a full minute to work on their fighter.
Only in Texas?
No. They do the same thing in California, Jim. A lot of states do that.
You like it?
They want the cornerman to give the guy, to have a full minute to work on a fighter. Ronnie Shields needed that minute to close Rocky Juarez's cut. It's a good rule.
You know, the more that I'm watching fights, and I'm beginning to believe that referees maybe should not be the one that determines whether a punch or a headbutt causes a cut, because in their job of refereeing, they really don't see. They should have to confer with somebody at the end of the round that's watching it on a monitor maybe.
I got 2 words: video replay. We've been down this road before. So far, only New Jersey is using it.
Absolutely right. You know, Rocky Juarez, like Jerry Quarry, the heavyweight in the 70s, who was fighting in the Ali Frazier Foreman era, is a B+ in an era of A's. Barrera, Marquez, and maybe Chris John too. And here you see Juarez, the B+, trying his best to be the very best he can be, to overcome the difference. Early on, it seemed like maybe he could do it. At this point, it looks like Chris John is really asserting himself.
And look at the quality of the guys that he's fought for each one of these 4 title fights.
Yes, a who's who of the golden era.
Incidentally, the initial returns on the cut work in Juarez's corner are very good. So far, this cut is not bleeding here in round number 6. But remember, it was opened in the first minute of the 5th.
Chris John has that kind of right hand that he twists at the end of the punch that can reopen that cut at any second.
Just caught him there with the right hand. Could cause the blood to begin to flow. Lawrence Cole's going to rule that a slip. Appropriately so, I believe.
He's punching down at Juarez with that twisting motion at the end of the punch, and it's a bad recipe for Juarez.
The danger